Okay, off we go. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in this after school hours. I know how precious your time is, so we're going to get started right away. The first thing I want to let everybody know is my role. So I work at Pearson, which is the publishing company that publishes Point de Connexion, and my role is to support teachers using digital resources, not just our FSL resources. Everything we publish has a digital component these days. So my job is to support you. I'm happy to do webinars. I'm happy to do email support, phone calls. Someday I'm hoping to do in-person again. So hopefully we will get back to that someday soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to put my email address in the chat so that you have my email address. And so after today, do feel free to reach out to me anytime if you need any help or have any questions. Okay, so let me share my screen and we'll get started. So today we're going to be looking at Point de Connexion, which is our grade 9 FSL resource. This resource hits the grade 9 Ontario curriculum. It is used in other provinces as well, typically for different grades. It might be used for grade 10 or 11 in other provinces. But if you are wondering about the curriculum, it does match the grade 9 Ontario curriculum. If you're wondering about logging in, let's do that offline. Let's do that through email. If you don't know the URL or the password that you should be using, reach out to me or to Amy from your district, and we will make sure to get you connected. So we will deal with that offline, we say. So for now, we're going to spend the next 20 to 30 minutes together looking at the online resource, how to navigate, how to find all your teacher material, and how to find all the student material. So it's all in here in this one spot. So the first thing I'm going to draw your attention to is the left-hand toolbar. So we're going to have a look at all of these icons and I'll tell you what they all do. So the first icon is the table of contents, la table des matières. So when I click that, this is now opens a clickable table of contents. Quite frankly, it gets you all of the units that are included in your student resource. They're all listed here. And then you can just scroll down in the table of contents and see some more folders. So most importantly, towards the bottom, there's a folder called Point de l'Enseignant. That's your teacher's corner, your teacher's folder. I'm just going to open that folder by clicking the little arrow, and you'll see a series of documents inside. So most importantly are these two documents right here where my mouse is hovering, the program overview and the teaching notes. So the program overview, I'm just going to click that and a new window will open with a PDF document. It just takes a minute to load. And this is the program overview. This is the background information, the pedagogy, the foundational information that goes into this program. This is where you find the how to teach using Point de Connexion. It has an overview for instruction. It has some information about teaching and learning practices, lots of information about assessment and planning for all of the units or units, I guess they're called in this level. So it's a fairly large document, and I do encourage you to spend the time to read it. It gives you information about the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference, which is the foundation of this program. All of the guiding principles of the CEFR were adopted as the guiding principles for this program. So it is really built on that framework. So we're not going to go through it page by page. We're not going to read it together, but I do encourage you to spend the time to read the program overview before you get into the program. So that's the program overview. The next file or in this teacher's corner is the teaching notes. So I'm just going to open that. Opens in its own window. It's a PDF document that contains your lesson plans for all of the units. So the first link is a diagnostic lesson. We call it the survol. So that's a lesson that what you will do, hopefully, if you choose to do it at the beginning of the year, to figure out what level your students are and to help inform your teaching for the year. But let's just open up Unit 1, Section A. You can see each of the units are divided into Section A and B. And here is your teacher's guide, your teaching notes, your lesson plans. We're just going to have a quick look at, again, I'm skipping through all the beginning stuff. I advise you not to skip through the beginning stuff. This has all your planning and assessment information for this unit, but I am hoping to get straight to the lesson plan itself, so we can have a look together at how the lesson plans are laid out. So here is part A, Lesson 1. It tells you what page of the student resource you'll be using. It gives you the lesson goals, and accompanying these lesson goals are the I can statements for your students, je peux, the success criteria, the materials, the assessment that you'll be using through this lesson. And then we literally get into the lesson plan itself, the teaching notes, and these are step-by-step sort of recipe style lesson plans. They're divided into 3 parts, typically the starting the text exploration. Yeah, they're developing the text exploration is the sort of before, during, and after, if you think about it that way. And then the after would be closing the text exploration. So as I scroll through, you can really see that it does tell you what to do word for word if you choose to follow these instructions. Typically, we know that teachers like to follow the lesson plans that the authors have written in their first couple of years of using this new program. But once they get used to it and familiar with it, teachers love to make things their own, make them unique to their students. They might combine some lessons, skip some parts, add in some things that are favorite things that they always do every year, figure out where you can add that into your lessons. So that's the sign of a good teacher, in my opinion, and that we know that happens. But for the first time through the program, you're going to want to follow these lessons pretty much word for word, so that you know that you're covering off all of the expectations. I'm just going to leave that window open and we'll go back to our e-text. And so also we're still in the Table des Matières. We're in the Teacher's Corner folder. We've had a look at the program overview, the teaching notes, and then scroll down a little bit more and we'll see that the fiches are also included here. These are the worksheets or the line masters, whatever you call them, les fiches d'activité, les fiches d'évaluation. So when you open that link, again, a new window opens, makes it really easy to navigate. I want to let you know that you have 2 choices when it comes to these line masters, these fiches. You can open them in a Word format, which is modifiable. So if you are the type of teacher that likes to make changes to the documents, you certainly can. These are Word documents now. You can change them, save them to your hard drive, save them to your network somewhere, and use them from there. These Word documents, and I'll scroll down, your other option are PDF documents, which are not modifiable. Both of these documents are shareable with students. So you will be downloading them. You can print them and hand them out. You can put them in Google Classroom. You can put them in your Microsoft OneDrive. You can email them to students. However you normally would be sending documents to students, that's how you would share these line masters. So let's just have a quick look at a few of the line masters here. So I'm just going to open up Fiche d'Activité 1 from Lesson 1. I'm opening it in Word, and you'll see that the Word document downloaded to my computer. I'm just clicking the link, the icon, and the Word, Microsoft Word is kicking in here. It'll just take a second. or 2 or 3. So here is one example of a fiche d'activité. Now, these are all explained in your teaching notes. It'll tell you when to hand out which fiche at which time. Some of these are fiches d'évaluation and some are fiches d'activité. And again, it's just all explained in your line math, in your teaching notes. But if you're wondering where to find them, you find them in your Point de l'Enseignant.
Kelly, can I just ask a quick question on behalf of a teacher? And it's actually a question I've had too. Are the Blackline Masters compatible with Google Docs? We don't actually have Microsoft installed in our school boards. So we're just wondering how. I know when I was using the program last year, I downloaded the PDF files and uploaded that to our learning platform. It's similar to Google Classroom. It's a Hapura workspace. However, anytime I wanted to make a modifiable document, I wasn't successful in doing that in Google Docs. So maybe I wasn't following the right steps.
Yes, so that's a great question, Amy, and I do get that question a lot. So I will say, I'm going to full open transparency confession here. I'm not a Google person. We don't use Google here in my office. We use Microsoft. But I hope you certainly can do the upload into Google Docs, the PDFs. You should be able to upload and use the PDFs. But again, like you said, Amy, you can't modify PDFs. So if you do want to or need to modify them, you are going to have trouble with that with the PDFs. I'm pretty sure you can upload the docs, the Word documents, but I think you need to convert them into Google Docs format. And now that's getting into an area that I'm not comfortable or I don't know how to support that. So hopefully someone in your IT department can help you with how to intake a Word document and convert it to a Google Doc. It must be possible. And if you can't do that within your district, let me know and I will come up with solutions. I'm happy to.
That would be great. It would be really nice if we can. I'll speak to our IT department on behalf of this team. And then if they are not able to show me how to successfully do that, I would love to collaborate to find a way to make this compatible with Google. The resource works beautifully, but I'm going to be in full honesty. I actually retyped some of the fiche d'activité, like I had to use them in an online setting and I needed students to be able to answer them online. And it took a lot of time, but I would love to have a way to do that a little bit more seamlessly.
Absolutely. We would love, no, we don't want any teachers to be spending any time redoing any of our work. So I'm happy to work with you. So do let me know that and we'll figure something out together if your IT department can't help you. Yes. Great. Okay, so let's keep going here. So there's more documents here in the Teacher's Corner. We've given you some answer keys. We've given you some image banks. So these are images from the student book that you can share out with your students if they're going to use them in some of their projects, like if they're making posters or PowerPoint slides and things like that. We also have another folder. I'm just going to close this Point de l'Enseignant and I'm staying here in the table of contents for another few minutes. The next folder is multimedia. So I'm just going to open that and let you know that throughout the student resource, we've scattered some multimedia elements on the pages themselves, and I'll show you those in a few minutes. But we've also taken all of those media files and put them here in a folder for you. So easy, quick access to all of the media elements. And the media elements are the audio files. So throughout the program, there are listening activities for students. So we've put them here. Throughout the program, we also have interactive activities and they're sort of games. I'll show you those in a few minutes on the pages, but we've put them all here, as well as videos, as well as language demos. And language demos are also a video, but they are specifically a grammar video. So I'm not going to show them to you here in this folder. I'll show you them on the pages, but I do want to let you know that they are available for quick and easy access in the multimedia folder. Okay, let's close the table of contents now and talk about navigating. So, I'll leave that open for a quick minute. One way to navigate is through the table of contents. So certainly you can click to open one of the units and to get to any one of the pages within the unit. You simply click it and it will take you to that page. So that's one way to navigate. Another way to navigate is using the next icon in the toolbar on the left-hand side, and that's the navigation slider. So really you just grab the slider and scroll it down and let go or drop it, and it will take you to the page that's showing page 24 there in the slider. So that's a second way to navigate. A third way to navigate is using the arrow keys. So down at the bottom left and bottom right, we have arrow keys to simply, quite frankly, quite straightforward, turn the pages forward and backward one page at a time. So those are the three ways you're going to want to navigate. I'm going to skip a few icons here for a minute and jump down to the bottom icon on the toolbar, which is your settings, les paramètres. So this is where you will probably do at least two things in here in your settings. I think you're going to want to switch it over to double page view. So when you're projecting your book here in class, I think you're going to want to have it as a 2-page view, left page, right page. Or if you're projecting it virtually, same thing, either it's up on the wall or it's on your screen where students are looking at it. I'm just going to close the settings here for a minute. You can see now as I turn the pages, you're looking at a left page and a right page. This obviously is similar, the exact same to a printed book. So if students do have the print resource in front of them and they're looking at your screen, whether it's on a wall or on a computer screen, they are seeing the same thing in print and digital. The content didn't move, it hasn't reflowed in any way. Page for page, it's the same as the print resource. So that's important to know. So that's one thing in the settings is the 2-page view. And the other thing you're probably going to use in the settings is the zoom, which always makes me laugh when I see this French translation, zoomé, I don't know, zoomer, it's weird to me. So anyway, it's a zoom slider, quite straightforward. You can slide it along to zoom in, i.e. make the text and images on the page bigger. And now, especially if you're reading, you want the students to read a section of these pages, you want to zoom in, and then you just use the scroll bars over on the right to scroll up and down, or down along the bottom to scroll left and right. So it acts pretty much like a web page, like you would be familiar, what you would expect. So that's the settings icon. There's a few more things in there that you can play around with, but quite frankly, I'm in these textbooks every day, and I use the 2-page and the zoomé all the time. Those are the two. So we're going to talk about these icons on the pages. This is the media that I was talking about. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but let's finish up with these icons on the left toolbar. So we've looked at table of contents. We've looked at the navigation slider. The next icon is search, rechercher, quite straightforward. You will just be searching for a word. This is a word search. So I've already typed in ami on a previous search. It shows up wherever you have that word showing up on any page. It searches the text on the pages, and you can actually click on any of these search returns here, and it will take you to that page. Yeah, it's not. It's hold on here. Oh no, sorry. I'm in the wrong there. Continue. There we go. So if the word ami shows up on any of the contents pages, it will take you to that page if you click it. The other, if it shows up in the key terms list, this is just a definition of the word. There's no clicking to take you to a page. You need to click on the contents, and those are pages there in the search terms. That's your search icon. The next icon is very important in French as a second language learning. This is the playlist, the liste de lecture. It's kind of still in beta format, so I do find it a little bit glitchy at times, but hopefully you'll get comfortable with it and figure out how it works. So this is a read aloud of the text on the pages, and it's presented as a playlist. So it's very awkward in the sense that right now I'm on page, what page am I on here? Sorry, let me just close this. All my video windows are covering up my page numbers. Here we go. I'm on page, I think 16, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. Anyway, it doesn't really matter what page I'm on, but the playlist doesn't really align with the page that I'm on, is where the glitchy part comes in. You need to scroll through the playlist first to find your page, and then click play, and it will read aloud the words on the page. So I'm going to click en ligne ou en personne. It's playing now, and the page is loaded.
Une conversation en tête-à-tête. Il y a beaucoup de choix quand on veut communiquer.
So there was a read aloud of these paragraphs and of the text on the pages. We recorded these pages in a studio. It's not a computerized voice, and we've used Canadian students and Canadian adults so that your students are hearing a variety of voices. They're hearing, teenagers, they're hearing adults, they're hearing different accents. Everyone, of course, is speaking French, but they will hear different accents as they're listening. That's really a good reading support and a good support for learning a second language. So that is the read aloud playlist. The next icon here is notes. It's your notebook. So what that means is on the pages themselves, as a teacher, you can use your mouse to highlight some text. I've just highlighted the first line, and now I can choose my color. I'm going to choose pink, and I can choose to write a new note. So it's like a sticky note. So these are just notes for me. These are notes that I see only. Your students don't have access to these unless you open them and show them. But maybe I might want to say, remember to, I don't know, show the video on YouTube. Maybe this section has this topic is something that I do every year, and I have a favorite video that I like to show. So I create a little note for myself, a reminder right there on the page itself. I see it as my pink underline, and I find the note itself in the notebook. So I go to my notebook, and here I would have a listing of all of my private notes. So lots of teachers don't use these, and that's fine. Of course, you don't have to, but I do want to at least let you know that it's there if you want to use it. And the same thing with the next icon. It's called the study guide, étudier. This is an option for teachers to make some flashcards. You can create a deck of flashcards that you can then use in class. You can create some activities for your students using these flashcards. So you simply click créer and you give it a name. So I'm going to call this Unit 1. And now I go about creating all of my flashcards. I type something for the front of the card. It might be a word, and then on the back, I would type the definition, or maybe it's a question and answer, like whatever you want to type on the front and back, and you go through and create a series of them. And then in class, you can go to your study guide and open these flashcards and do some activities with your students, do some practicing of questions and answers, or practicing definitions, however you see fit to use them in class. That's what that is. That's the study guide. So now we've looked at all of the icons on the toolbar: table of contents, navigation, search terms, listening, read aloud playlist, your notebook, and your study guide flashcards, and your settings. That's it. That's the toolbar. I'm going to move on now to the pages themselves, to the icons and the media that we've embedded on the pages. And I'm going to zoom out all the way so that we can have a look at the pages in full and see everything. So already I can see it's, hopefully you can see okay at this magnification level, but I can see some icons on these pages that I'm randomly on. I can see them already. So let's have if I hover my mouse over these icons, you'll see what they are. So this first icon is Activité d'écoute. So this is a listening activity. It's different from the read aloud. So I'm going to click it. Let's have a little listen.
La saison commence. Fiche d'activité 29A, 29B, 29C.
I'm just going to pause it there. So this listening activity comes with a line master, actually 3 line masters. So at the beginning, you heard her say, fiche d'activité 29, A, B, et C. So you need to, in your lesson plan, it will tell you, okay, time for the listening activity. Get your line masters ready, hand them out to students, or make sure students have them on their computers, because this listening activity requires a line master. So that's all explained. And now I have no idea what this activity is. So let's have a listen.
Salut.
Salut, monsieur.
Bonjour. Bienvenue au premier entraînement de notre équipe. Félicitations.
Okay, so whatever students are doing, they're listening to this particular activity and following along with their line master. With these listening audio playback things here, I do want to let you know that you can drag and move it out of the way. Sometimes students need to look at the page itself while they're doing the listening activity, so you don't want it to be covering up the page, but you can just use your mouse to move it around. So that's a listening icon. You're going to see those on the pages throughout the program. The next icon is Activité interactive. So these are interactive games, activities. They open in their own window. There's a whole series of them. They're drag and drop, fill in the blank, multiple choice, card matchup. I know the whole variety of them. They are meant as practice and they're meant as engagement, but they're really not meant as assessment or evaluation. So you can do these with your whole class, small groups. You could set up some centers if you've got a couple of computers and you log in for them with your login and get this ready for them, however you see fit. With these activities, there's a few things I do want to let you know, that most of them are multiple pages. So always look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen to see how many pages and to turn the pages throughout the activity. I don't think there's any that are only one page. And you could, if you choose, have the students, if you're working one-on-one with students, for example, is have somebody fill it out, type in the answers or do the actual activity. And then when they're finished, they can press the print icon, the printer icon, and print it out, put their name on it, and you can collect that as a form of assessment if you should choose. But it's not really how these are meant, but we do give you that option if you want to do that. So I'm just going to go back to our e-text. See, everything stays open in its own window, so it's easy to jump around. And we'll look at the next icon on the page here is Démo langagière. So this is a video, and it's a grammar video. So they're a couple of minutes long. It's a little mini lesson about one element of grammar. So let's have a quick listen here.
Impératif. As-tu la confiance nécessaire pour donner des conseils? Voici des explications pour t'aider. Quand on donne un conseil à une seule personne, on utilise la forme tu du verbe. Par exemple, l'entraîneuse dit à Gabrielle, lis bien le numéro 1.
Okay, I'm just going to pause it there. So we don't provide you with whole lessons that are based on grammar like this, but we do provide you and your students with these little mini lessons, 2 or 3 minutes long, about a certain element, you know, passé composé, la négation, impératif, whatever the lesson, whatever's happening in the lesson. It's just a little quick support right at the point of where it's needed. So look for those, look for that icon. I'm going to scroll down to these teacher icons down here at the bottom, these PDF documents. So what we've done is we've taken the teaching notes that normally would be in the teacher's corner, and that would be the teaching notes for the whole unit. Well, we've taken them lesson by lesson, chunk by chunk, and put them here, right here on the page for you. So it's a PDF document that opens, and it's your teaching notes just for this lesson. It's a 5-page document. It's the same as the other document, but you just don't have to scroll through so many pages to find exactly where you need to be. That is provided right here. So we provide you with the teaching notes and the Line Masters, les fiches. We provide you with the PDF version of the Line Masters right here on the page just for this lesson. So let me just turn the page now, and or maybe I'll go backwards here and see if we can find some more icons just to make sure we're covering them all. So this page has a listening activity, an interactive game, and then your teaching notes and Line Masters. I'm actually looking for a video icon. They show up once in a while. I'm going to scroll through just a few pages and hopefully I'll find one. This is a demo, that's a video, but we just looked at a language demo. I don't want to waste your time. You might just need to take my word for the fact that there is a video icon every now and again on certain pages. That's the only icon we haven't seen yet. We've seen the listening activity, we've seen the interactive, there's a video. So I'm just mousing over each of these little icons and I get a little pop-up to see what it is. So this lesson comes with a video. So these are videos that our author team have scripted, that we filmed using Canadian students and teachers in classrooms and in studios here in Canada. And again, you're going to see a variety of students and you're going to hear a variety of students. So let's have a quick listen to the first minute or two.
C'est un long voyage à Vancouver.
Le vol a duré 5 heures, mais le temps a passé vite. J'ai regardé un film et écouté de la musique et les mots.
Great. So that's just a really quick look at one of our videos. There's, I believe there's one per unit, but don't quote me on that. We do have quite a few of them in there though. So the videos, these content related videos, you have the option down here in the bottom toolbar, the video player toolbar, you have the option to slow down the speed of the playback. So that's an important element for students who are learning a language. It helps to slow down the playback. And of course, you can press pause, rewind, that's common. So those are two little support features that are built into the videos. Okay, so that's everything. That's all of your teacher material, all of the student material, including the media that we've embedded on these pages. I'm just wondering if anyone has any questions. I'm happy to review anything that we've looked at. We've checked out all of these icons on the toolbar, pretty straightforward. So you're welcome to open your microphones or type your messages in the chat or reach out to me through email after today.
And I will also say I did use this program extensively, and I'm happy to assist anyone in the rollout. I can come to your schools. I am allowed to come into the schools. So I can troubleshoot any problems that you might have, and then anything beyond my abilities, I can always reach out to Kelly as well. But I just thought she could walk us through so that I didn't forget any of those great icons. But I see a lot of potential with this program. I did follow it to the letter, which I wanted to make sure I really gave it its full, what it's worth. So it was really successful. All my students applied into academic, used this program with a lot of success. So any questions, we're happy to help. I don't see too many questions. I know we're a small group, but I'd be happy to share this video with the rest of our team, Kelly. And I just want to thank you for your time and thank everyone for their precious time as well, and wish everyone a nice afternoon.
Good stuff. Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you, Amy. Good luck. We'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Merci.